Hi everyone, my name's Allan. I'm a Scottish Green Party councillor for Govan. Is there anybody here from Govan tonight? One? Great. Good, I was expecting I'd be the only one, but welcome. And apologies, this is the first time I've ever done one of these talks. Okay, but more importantly, sorry, this is Baggio, this is my cat. He's named after Roberto Baggio, the wonderful Italian football player from the 1990s. And when I was 7 years old, I dreamed that I would be a wonderful football player just like Roberto Baggio, playing at World Cups for Scotland. But just as I got that prediction wrong, I think many other predictions that we probably read about, we see on TV and we hear are probably going to be wrong as well about the future of work. So instead of standing up here and giving you lots of different predictions about what's going to happen to the future of work, I'm going to be unashamedly optimistic about what we can do to make the workplace a much better place for everybody and how, in turn, that can help to shape a much better society for everyone. Very much taking the glass is half full approach. Pause. So with the rise of automation and all the threats that can pose for unemployment, increasing already vast levels of inequalities that we have in society, it could be very tempting to kind of put your head in the sand, take a sort of a careful now, down with this sort of thing type approach, like Luddites, maybe just go and smash up new technology. But I can understand that approach, but of course I'm going to argue that we need to actually embrace the change and we need to try and create the workplace that we want to see. But of course with any change there's power. There's always two groups of people that have resisted change. One, the most powerful group in society because they don't want to give up power, and two, the most powerless because they've got the most to lose from it. But why should we change? Well, it's obvious. In the workplace today, we don't have basic rights. We don't have basic conditions for many people. You must have seen the strikers this week in Glasgow, very inspirational in equal pay, but there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who go into work every day in the UK that don't have proper pay and don't have rights and conditions. Why else do we need to change the workplace? Well, it's obvious. Look at the health inequalities we have in Glasgow. We managed to improve industry to reduce deaths and injuries, but our workplaces are still very unhealthy. They're still places of high stress, people stuck in dead-end jobs where they feel marginalised, they feel no sense of worth, they feel alienated, they're just wasting their time, not doing anything productive, and they've got low self-esteem on the back of that. So surely when we think about the future workplace, we've got to move away from that to try to build people's self-esteem and give them value. And of course, being a Green Councillor, I've got to mention the environment. There's no way we can continue to increase productivity, try to grow GDP, try to grow economic growth, yet at the same time save the planet and also try to make us healthier and happier at work. It's simply not going to happen. And why else do we need to improve the workplace? Well, simply work as a concept is failing. Many people that are working are still living in poverty. Our social security system that's supposed to be a safety net is no longer a safety net. It's making people feel marginalised. Conditionality, forcing people into jobs that they don't want to do is simply not working. And we can't divorce the workplace from the current tensions that we see within our society, increasing division, increasing identity politics. This has got to be connected to rising levels of marginalisation and alienation at the workplace as well. People feel disgruntled and want to blame somebody. So how can we lead the change? Well, any positive change needs to be led by those people who are most marginalised in our society. I chose this because this is a poster we've got in our office at the council, and I think it's brilliant. It kind of sums up what politics is all about. It's making change for everybody, making it more inclusive. So what would that change look like? We need to create proper economic safety nets for people. We need to look at alternative systems like universal basic income that not only give people the economic stability, but also give them the freedom and the confidence and the opportunities to try something new, not get stuck into some dead-end, 0 hours job that is the only one they can get. And that in turn, that will help to build a better society, a better community. When people get more sense of self-worth, get more independence, then they start to realise their talents and start to realise the opportunities that they have. inherent. But of course, you can't talk about this without talking about education. You know, in the past, we used to prepare people at school to go into certain careers. Well, we don't know if those careers are still going to exist in 10 years, in 20 years' time. Simply giving people assessment after assessment is not going to help. We need to build very resilient and socially stable people. Now, when I realised at a very young age I was not going to be the world-famous football player that I thought I was going to be at 7 years old, I was a little bit hurt, but because I was given a lot of support and a lot of stability from friends, families, institutions, loved ones, things like that, I managed to build resilience and managed to find passion in another career. Everybody should be given that support to find that. And of course, you can't achieve that, of course, without properly addressing the work-life balance. It's just common sense. There's no reason to be working more than 6-hour days, no reason to be doing more than 4-day weeks. We know the health impacts, we know the impacts on the environment, on everything. It's really quite simple. And from that, when you build those economic safety nets and people become more resilient and more stable and they move into better places, healthier, happier, then they're more likely to get involved in communities in positive ways, and we can create more inclusive, positive communities. But how are we going to achieve that? We can only achieve that through collective action. We can only achieve with people coming together. All the great improvements that we've made throughout the years in the workforce have always come when people have come together from different walks of life to stand united. And finally, I thought I'd finish off with this guy. This guy's a legend. He's Majid. He's the Lord Mayor of Sheffield. He was the first Green Muslim mayor of Sheffield. I don't know how many more there'll be in the near future, but hopefully a few. And I heard him speak at the weekend, and somebody asked him why he entered politics. And he said he entered politics because of compassion, and I think that's what we all need to bring to the workplace. Thank you.